All right, everybody. We are into week 14 of the NFL season, as we know, with the Lions beating the Cowboys, and that just sets up a massive week 14 stage filled with playoff implicating action. Time now for my top 5 other matchups for the rest of week 14, presented by Hyundai. Hit it.
High five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Rich's top 5.
All righty, everybody. My top 5 other matchups for week number 14, with the Lions having beaten the Cowboys, setting up the rest of the weekend. If you recall, the Saturday before week 12, the Philadelphia Eagles were 8-2 as the 1 seed in the National Football League, and then came the next 6 days. Lost to the Cowboys after being up 21-0, and then getting the tar smacked out of them by the Chicago Bears at home in front of the Boo Birds in Philadelphia. And that 6-day stretch has been sitting there, lingering now for until the time on Monday Night Football, kickoff to the finale of Week 14, about, one would say, 10 days just marinating in the Philadelphia world. Now the Cowboys have lost, which means the Eagles can play, dare I say, with a touch of house money. But falling to 8-5 to the Los Angeles Chargers, to have the Chargers go to 9-4. Now that would be on like the proverbial Kong O'Donkey with 3 straight losses in a row. And the Chargers, though, are ripe for, one would think, the taking. Because look at that left, sort of infinity glove.
Exactly.
And that was when his hand, Justin Herbert's hand, wasn't, surgically repaired yet. The guy's got screws in his left hand. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're just one hit away from Trey Lance getting out there. Yeah. Or the last time a team from Pennsylvania came into this house in a night game, standalone, nationally televised contest, the place was filled with Steelers fans, and the Chargers kicked their ass. So this is going to be a game that is highly important, and I've been saying it all week long. I'll repeat it one last time while it's still germane. What the Eagles need is a home game on the road where the fans are happy to be there and just thrilled to support the Eagles no matter what they're seeing in front of them. So I can't wait for this one. And this is how big this is. This is number 5 on my list.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say that.
And number 4 on my list is Steelers-Ravens. Steelers-Ravens. First of 2 times between these 2 teams, week 14, the next one is in Pittsburgh to finish the season. And so to go through the rest of this campaign leading into that game already with a win against the other in their back pocket, big. And the Ravens need this one because the Bengals came in to the Ravens' nest on Thanksgiving night and beat them up in the second half. And Lamar hasn't looked at all like Lamar. Tom Pelissero said it on Friday's show that Lamar Jackson this season has a grand next-gen stat total of 0 tackles that he's forced to be missed. I didn't know that was a stat. I don't know how they decide what your juke move has caused a missed tackle, but whatever that parameter is, Lamar has 0 of them on designed runs. How does that sound?
That's insane.
That's a very specific stat to also just show you that he doesn't look the same and he's not making people miss him the same. And the Steelers to come into Baltimore and quiet all what has been going on in Pittsburgh would be huge. The winner of this game is in first place going into the rest of the season until they face each other again, the final game of the season, and the loser is 6-7. I did that, and my kids are pissed. Every time I do that. It is Dad, no. It is exactly that. Dad, no. This is number 4 on the list. It's because number 3 on the list is Joe Burrow's back in Western New York.
That's only 3?
Burrow versus Allen. Mirror opposite records. Bills are 8-4. Bengals are 4-8. Joe Burrow, the aforementioned win in Baltimore on Thanksgiving night. How does he follow it up? Can he come back from that surgically repaired toe injury earlier than expected and win his first 2 games at Baltimore and at Buffalo to basically say, I am back? And by the way, if he does pull this one off, he would be a perfect 4-0 in his first 4 starts of the season because, yes, the second game in which he got hurt, the stat for quarterbacks is all you got to do is just take the first snap and the win is yours no matter what happens the rest of the way. And if the Bengals go to 5-8, that would mean there's still just 2 games behind whoever wins. And if the between the Ravens and Steelers, and if the Ravens win, the Bengals already have that win in their house. And then they go home the following week at 5-8 to take on that Ravens team. Oh my God. And if the Bengals win, then the Bills fall to 8-5, which would mean their next game, their visit to New England, would mean New England has a chance to clinch the division, unless the Bills win. So that's what's at stake here. Bengals season on the line, Bills chance to win this division on the line. And one of the remaining games, and if they don't win the division, this is one of the remaining games still left in Highmark before that thing gets shut down. I mean, talk about a great matchup.
It's great.
Number 2 on this list. I'm putting the Texans and Chiefs above this one.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. The Chiefs are the Chiefs, man. And say what you will. Say what you will.
And he will.
I have been saying, and tell me how many other individuals who cover this sport nationally who come on this program have said they can't quit the Chiefs. Until it's over, it's over. They won't believe it's over. If they go this...
6, 7.
6, Dad, 6, 7.
That's the end of the division. And then how do they make the playoffs at 10-7? If the only team that's currently in a wild card spot at that point in time could be the Colts that they'd have a win over. That's it. That would leave the Colts out of everybody. If you put the AFC standings up, they have lost to the Jaguars. They've beaten the Ravens, but the Ravens aren't going to be in a wild card position for the Chiefs to try and put a tiebreak on the table and go to the playoffs instead of. They would have lost to the Chargers, to the Bills, and the Texans. The only team that would be sitting there is the Colts. And if the Colts win in Jacksonville, right, then Jacksonville goes in that wild card spot, and pretty much everybody in the mix that they'd have to put a tiebreak on to try and get to the playoffs over would be right there in front of them, including the 8-5 Texans, and they'd be 6-7? Really? I mean, so for everybody out there that's waiting to see the Chiefs finally flop and not make the playoffs, losing this game on Sunday night would put them right on that edge. Right on that edge. And the Texans are a team, as you know, that is a lot of pushing people off of ledges lately. 4 wins in a row. C.J. Stroud with his best game of the year and coming back from a concussion after Davis Mills goes 3-0 without him because the defense was marauding. And if they have trouble protecting Mahomes, this is a big game, man, especially since the Texans have designs to win the division anyway, to come from 0-3 to 8-5, winning in Arrowhead. That's why I'm choosing this on the list at number 2. And number 1 is, in fact, Bears at Packers. Let me tell you this. This is a fact. In the vast history of this series that has been played over 19,000 times. Okay? Might be exaggerating that. Whatever number of times it is, and there's a number out there, and I just don't have it here in front of me, even though I should. This is the first time that both of these teams have faced each other this late in the season, with each of them 5 games over 500 or better. Let me repeat that. The Bears and the Packers have been playing each other pretty much since they put leather helmets on heads. Have never faced each other this late in the season, where both of them are 5 games above 500 or better.
Whoa.
This is arguably the best matchup this late in the season with a division on the line in the history of this series. And for Ben Johnson and the Bears to be 0-2 to start the season in division while the Packers started off roaring, for them to go into Green Bay in Ben Johnson's first taste of this rivalry and win and go up on the Packers in advance of welcoming them into Soldier Field in 2 weeks would just be so monumental. I don't even think Bears fans can even comprehend it without their heads exploding.
This is the 211th matchup.
Thank you, sir. And then the Packers, just a couple weeks removed from Packers fans saying, take the play calling away from LaFleur, if not his entire job, after what they did in Detroit on Thanksgiving Day, and then to follow it up by saying, hey, all's well. All's well. We swept the Lions for the first time since 2000, and guess what? We still own the Green Bay Packers. We do still own the Chicago Bears. We are now 27-4 in our last 31 games against the Bears. Doesn't matter if it's Favre or Rodgers, it's still love, and it's still the Packers against the Bears. For them to say, nice win streak you had there, Ben. Real cute. And they take over first place entering the final 4 games of the season. Just so monumental. That's why the whole country is going to be shown it on Fox. That's the top game that I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the way.
You have one more.
Why
I did
not?
not know this.
And I've got to also mention the AFC South's up for grabs.
Yeah, man.
That's the one more. Colts and Jaguars. The Jaguars, man.
This is nice.
I'll say it one more time. The Jaguars, man.
Who do you trust more in a big game? Trevor Lawrence or Daniel Jones?
Dude, really? It's just, I don't know if can I say neither? You know
Daniel
what I
Jones
mean?
at least won a playoff game.
No, I understand that. I understand that. But at the end of the day, you've got the Jacksonville Jaguars playing well. So I'll take Trevor Lawrence right now.
I guess so did Trevor Lawrence.
In this game, that he has been playing much better than Daniel Jones over the last couple weeks. I mean, could you think about it? Remember, I started this segment by saying it was the Week 12 Saturday in which the Eagles were 8-2, and then the next 6 days happened. Mm-hmm. The Indianapolis Colts in a Week 12 Sunday in the fourth quarter in Arrowhead were up 20-9.
Yeah.
And they were 8-2. Now they're 8-4. They blow that lead in Arrowhead and then follow it up by getting hammered at home by the Texans. And now they have to go to Jacksonville, which is not easy for them. It hasn't been in a long time. And that's part of an 8-game early window of Week 14 filled with big-time contests. And that's my top 5 matchups of the week. Week 14 presented by Hyundai. We'll chat about it all on Monday. That rhymed. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.